Today we're making 3 bowls of chili from 3 of the most famous Food Network chefs. We've done plenty of deep dives into which YouTubers make the best classic dishes here on the channel, but today we're gonna pay homage to the pioneers of food media to see which one of them makes the best chili. These are the stand and stir gods. TV hosts, cookbook authors, teachers, philanthropists, familiar faces with unique perspectives that really help shape the way an entire generation thinks about cooking at home. But today we're gonna shelve those kumbayas and pit them against each other to see which one makes the best bowl of chili on TV. And now the internet. Then at the end of the video, we'll take elements from each recipe today to fuse together the ultimate Food Network Franken-chili. Let's make some television. Before we get cooking, I want to thank the geniuses over at Cometeer for sponsoring this video. I'm excited for this one. You've probably noticed my cup of coffee sitting on the counter over the years. Yeah, I drink a lot of coffee, especially when I shoot videos. And it really does feel like I've tried all the things when it comes to making great coffee at home. I've gone through different pour-overs, coffee makers, espresso machines, the whole 9. I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money trying to make coffee right, and until I found Cometeer, I didn't think barista-level coffee at home was something that I could achieve. Until now. Cometeer is specialty coffee from roasters like Intelligentsia and Onyx that's brewed at peak conditions for the best flavor, then flash frozen with liquid nitrogen at -321 degrees Fahrenheit into these little cute recyclable capsules that you can keep in your freezer. When you want a cup, you just pop the coffee out into a mug with this little eject button and add about 6 to 8 ounces of hot water. No grinding, no dialing anything in, and the cleanup is as easy as tossing the pot in the recycling. And somehow, through the miracle of science, you're left with a perfectly brewed cup of coffee in like less than a minute. It literally tastes like I went to the coffee shop and bought a specialty pour-over. This really should not be as good for how easy it is, but somehow it is. And it's not just hot coffee. I like to keep one melted in my fridge to pour over ice for an iced coffee or over some milk for a latte. This goes hot or cold, whatever you're in the mood for. And that's pretty nice because here in Chicago, we get 4 seasons. So it's nice to, kind of have that choice. And if you're like me and enjoy a little variety, Cometeer works with some of the best coffee roasters on earth and offers dozens of roasts. So there's always something new to try, which is a lot of fun. We love that. So if you're a coffee nut, I could not recommend this enough. If you haven't tried Cometeer yet, you can get $30 off your first order by going to cometeer.com/AdamWitt or just follow the link in the description. Okay, we're caffeinated. Back to the video. Our first chef is half the reason that America thinks a simple weeknight dinner includes imported olive oil in a $300 bottle of Bordeaux.
How great is that?
I say that with love because Ina Garten is a goddess. Ina Garten is calm. Ina Garten is elegant. Ina Garten has never been stressed once in her entire life, and if she has, she handled it with a linen napkin and a Virginia Slim.
And you know my motto is, if it's not fun, it's not done.
She teaches us that cooking should be effortless, beautiful, and ideally done in a sun-drenched Hamptons kitchen while her husband Jeffrey? Oh my God, what is that, Jeffrey?
I'm her greatest fan.
While her husband Jeffrey silently nods in approval off camera. But chili is messy, chili is chaotic, chili does not care how incredible you are. So when the chili gets loud and a little ugly, does Ina deliver the comfort? Or does barefoot Contessa quietly step away from the stove?
This is spicy chili.
Now, this is technically Ina's friend Devon's chili. The recipe is called Devon's award-winning chili, but Ina seems to have liked it enough to endorse it on her show, so we're gonna give this one to Ina. This chili calls for brisket chunks as the protein. This is 5 pounds of brisket flat, which can be pretty lean, so I left some fat on some of the pieces here. Remember, fat equals flavor. Maybe you're used to cilantro blessing your bowl of chili, but basil? That's probably a first, right? Ina's spices are what you'd expect in chili, nothing too wild, but what is kinda wild and smart is the addition of some strong black coffee, which we'll talk more about later. Then, for the base of the chili, Ina uses straight up diced tomatoes. No canned tomato product here. For Ina's chili, big Dutch oven. We're gonna go high heat for this. We're gonna pop in some olive oil. This is not extra virgin, because we're gonna sear off our brisket in batches. We're gonna do this in 2 batches. If your brisket's dry, this will happen faster. A little pinch of kosher to work that water out. All right, we're gonna back it down to medium heat and add in our onions and the garlic. course, a pinch of kosher. Just gonna stir this around and kind of sweat it out. Cook it down just a bit, coat it in all that nice beef fat. It's gonna kind of deglaze the bottom of the pan a little bit. Now we're gonna add in all of our spices. Stir those in a bit, kind of bloom the spices and the aromatics. Next up, we got our green pep, green bell pep, and our fresh tomatoes with their juice. Pretty much the liquid base for our chili, right? About 6 cups. Go through all of that juice. Then some bay leaf and a healthy pinch of kosher so we season as we go here. Whoa, a little too much there, a little too much there. And now we can reintroduce all of our seared brisket and its juices, of course. Oh, whoa. Dude, this recipe called for 5 pounds of brisket. Did not look like that in the video. Might need a bigger pot here. Do I even have a bigger pot? Oh boy. We gotta attempt to mix this thing. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna have to dual wield. Mercy. All right, so I'm gonna mix this just a little bit to kind of get that beef just kind of dispersed through the pot. As the tomatoes kind of cook down and things start to kind of liquefy here, all this beef will kind of fall into place. I don't hate it, man. I mean, OG Texas chili is mostly beef. You can already hear that liquid bubbling. All right, we're going lid on, and then this simmers for 2 hours. Our next chef needs absolutely no introduction. I don't think I can explain this dude better than he can himself.
It's a chicken train going to Flavor Town.
I've only heard the most incredible things about this man, which checks out because the guy seems like an absolute blast. I don't know him personally, but he seems to love 3 things: his people, rib-sticking bar food, and driving one of his dozens of classic cars extremely fast. We can all appreciate how Guy lives life to the fullest, but can the man make a decent bowl of chili?
Let me give you one of my theories on chili.
This is Guy's Dragon's Breath chili, and just like you'd imagine, it's chocked to the brim with a gallimaufry of chilies and meats. But really, I just wanted to say that word. We got ground beef, coarse Italian sausage, and beef chuck that's been diced up. In his recipe, the ground beef is cut coarse, but in ours, the Italian sausage will bring the chunkatry. Spices are aplenty, but nothing too out of the ordinary here. Oh, this is a cool move. Guy chooses to use butter and leftover bacon lard to cook the chili. That smokiness from the lard, it's cool. And this is Dragon's Breath chili after all, so I just roasted, seeded, and diced these Anaheim and Poblano chilies off camera. Not only does Guy put beans in his chili, but there's 2 different types. And strangely enough, he uses the bean liquid in this recipe too. So we'll see how that works out. High heat, big, impeccably clean Dutch oven. We're gonna go in with our bacon fat and butter. Melt that down. Already love this. Reuse your bacon fat. Save the bacon lard. It'd be good. It'd be tasty. Now we're gonna whack in our roasted and peeled Anaheim chilies. Then it's our poblanos. Same deal. Jalapeno. Fair amount. Red bell pepper. And our onion. Onion. A lot of vegetation means a healthy pinch of kosher. Help that sweat down again. Whole lot of peppers going in here. That's why he calls it Dragon Breath chili, I'd imagine. Once most of that water is removed from these vegetables and they start to caramelize a little bit, I'll go in with our garlic. Stir that around. So once our garlic is worked in and slightly softened, we're gonna take all this veg and push it to the side and add in our cubed chuck and a pinch of salt. We're just gonna use this little area to start browning this beef, give it a little head start cooking, give it some color. Kind of knock out 2 things at once without having to like clear the pot after you sear the meat. Now we're gonna go in with our Italian sausage, of course ground, and our ground beef. A lot of meat in there. Once again, little kosh. Now Guy says not to break this up too fine, so we'll keep it kind of coarse. It's looking good to me. Now we're gonna go spices and tomato paste. A lot of tomato paste. Now we're gonna deglaze that with some good old beer, little chicken stock, tomato sauce. Remember, this stuff has its seasoning built into it already, not tomato puree. And then kind of strangely, both beans, including the bean liquid, which is kind of wild. Whoa, we are taking this to the tippy. Hit it with a nice little pinch of kosher for good measure. I'm just gonna kind of carefully mix that together. Oh yeah, oh my God, dude. This is wild, man. This chili is gangster.
Gangster.
That bean, like aquafaba, could really help thicken this thing, give it some nice good texture. All right, so Guy doesn't mention anything about covering this pot, so we're gonna plop this on the back burner and let it simmer for about 2 hours. Our final chef might also be considered a scientist. He's also probably the reason why half of us even know what the Maillard reaction even is.
See that crusty exterior? That's what happens when high heat tangles with water-soluble proteins like the ones pulled out by the salt.
Alton Brown didn't just cook on television, he taught. Diagrams, scientific facts, history lessons, and the occasional deeply unsettling puppet. This man took cooking dinner and made it into homework, but somehow made it fun. If there's a better way to do something, Alton has already explained it. Twice. With charts. But chili is not a lab experiment, right? It's an emotional experience. So the question is, does all that science really make chili better? Or does this dish need a little less brain and a little more soul?
Dude, that's one rude awakening right there. Boy, howdy. All right, reckon it's chili time.
Believe it or not, Alton's chili might be the least involved. Well, from a number of ingredients standpoint. We got 3 proteins in this chili. Lamb, beef, and pork. The spice blend is simple, only 2 spices. Then Alton uses tortilla chips, which is kind of crazy. We'll talk more about that in a bit. The liquid in the chili comes from 2 unexpected ingredients. First, we got some good ale, right? This is a great choice. It's a little more complex and interesting than, say, a lager. It also complements the other flavors in this chili pretty nicely. Good move. The second is this jarred salsa. That is correct, jarred salsa. I don't know, man. He's a mad scientist. We're just gonna roll with it. Let's cook. This wouldn't be an Alton Brown recipe if it wasn't a little different, right? So today, instead of the regular Dutch oven, we're using this guy. This is what they used before Instant Pots. This is a pressure cooker, right? The new ones are a lot safer than the pressure cookers of old, so it can be a little intimidating, but don't let it spook you. All right, we're gonna add in our pork, beef, and lamb to a vessel of sorts. Then we're gonna take our peanut oil and drizzle that all over to coat the meat. Alton is always thinking about the home cook. By doing this, we're gonna smoke our kitchen out a little less, right? We're using just enough oil to coat the meat, so it's not sitting in the pan, causing a choking hazard. We're gonna go high heat, there's a pattern here, and pressure cooker, lid off. Just like everyone else, we're gonna brown our meat in batches. I'm gonna hit that with a pinch of kosher salt, gotta season. Now we're gonna deglaze with our beer. This is a darker beer, it's an ale. Scrape them sidewalls. We wanna harvest all that fond, all that flavor at the bottom of the pot. Now we're gonna reintroduce all the meat and its juice. Jarred salsa, crumbled tortilla chips. Very strange, but I'm down. And some chipotles and adobo, just kinda chopped up a little bit. It's about 2 peppers. Tomato paste, and our spices. Little pinch of salt. We'll season more if we need to at the end. Look at this mountain of madness. It's super interesting. I've never seen anybody add tortilla chips directly to their chili. I would imagine it's kind of like a thickening agent and flavor. You know, you got that corn in there. It's very Southwest. This is a very sort of like cowboy chili, which makes a lot of sense if you've seen the original video. Then again, all chili stems from cowboy chili. Boom, we're literally done. Almost. Now we're just gonna lock and load. Every pressure cooker looks a little different, but they all do the same thing. These pots have a locking mechanism so that they don't just blow up on you, you know? That would not be good. You'd have chili all over your ceilings and suffer 2nd-degree burns. This is not Final Destination, so we don't want that. Basically what this thing does is it increases the temperature that water boils at through pressure. I'm not exactly sure what temperature this can raise to exactly, but that higher heat means faster cooking. So roasts, vegetables, chili in our case, cooks much, much, much faster than if you were to do it in a Dutch oven. Now the cooking time for this chili is 25 minutes, but that timer starts when this thing comes to pressure. So in about 10 minutes or so, when this thing starts hissing and pressure starts building, we're gonna set the timer, 25 minutes, and our chili is gonna be done. Ina's chili is the only 2-parter here. We're just gonna add a couple ingredients now that it's been simmering. We're gonna add in our kidney beans, and interestingly enough, some strong coffee. That's gonna help with flavor, texture, and the acid from the coffee and the tomatoes is gonna help to tenderize the protein. And that will simmer for another hour. Keep your distance when you do this. Now we can see what's inside. Okay. It's always a surprise with the pressure cooker. You never really know what's gonna come out the other end. Yeah, this pressure cooker just shredded this meat, cooked it super fast. These are tough cuts, remember, 25 minutes, pretty nifty. Also, the corn tortillas seem to have just kind of like blended into the chili, which is interesting. It thickens it, but it also has this like super corny aroma. We love a corny aroma. Alton's is done. These guys will be finished soon. Then we'll be ready to taste. All right, last thing to do is just add some basil to Ina's chili. Bizarre, right? Never seen basil in chili before. Stir that in just at the end here. Makes sense, basil's such a delicate flavor. If you cook the basil, you wouldn't taste the basil. I'm even questioning if you're gonna be able to taste the basil at all to begin with after it's been sitting for a little bit. Big chunks of beef, pretty thin compared to the other chilies. Fresh basil, interesting. All right, here we got Guy's chili. Whoo! Look at this. Molten dragon's breath right here. It's nice and thick, but it was just sitting there, all that liquid kind of rose to the top here, but when you give it a stir, it looks nice. Last but not least, we got Alton's chili. Definitely the most thickums of the bunch. The most unique aroma too. Okay, finally, all of our chilies are done here. We got them all laid out. We got Guy's, Ina's, and Alton's. All definitely a lot different. They're all giving like completely different aromas. They look different. I think it's finally TTB. Time to build. All right, Ina's chili, or is it Devon's chili? Who knows? We're gonna hit it with some cheddar cheese. I wanna still be able to see the chili, so I'm not gonna go nuts. A little bit of tomato, fresh tomato. Some scallion, AKA green onion, AKA grunion. Then we're gonna go with a dollop of sour cream. And oddly enough, a little bit of guacamole. Boom, Ina's chili. Guy's chili. All we're gonna do is hit this with a little bit of cheddar in the center there, and green onion, plenty of green onion. And he doesn't do this in his video, but in the recipe it says some saltines, so we're just gonna dot these with these super adorable mini saltine crackers that I found at the grocery store. Look at that, cute as can be. That's dang cute. Alton's chili. All right, a little bit of this, just a touch of that, honestly, not too much. You don't want to kill yourself. And some people like it, but just some of this. And then finally, yeah, so kind of strange. Alton doesn't finish his chili with anything. Now, on the recipe online, it just says serve immediately. I'm guessing he kind of lets you fill in the blanks there. Put whatever you want on your chili, right? I love it. There's no indication for any of that. However, in his video, there's a tray that has pretty much, it looks like all the regular like chili accoutrement that you can ever want. I don't think he's advising to eat this raw dog. You can if you want, but because there was no direction in the video or the recipe, I'm gonna leave this as is. Maybe we'll decorate it later. It's finally TTT, time to taste. Triple T, not triple D, not this time. Time to taste. So, where should we start? Let's go with, you know what, in honor of what I just said, let's start with Guy. Guy Fieri's Dragon's Breath Chili. We got a whole lot of chilies going on in here. Beans galore. I'm a bean in my chili, guys, so. First, I'm just gonna try the chili straight up. Yum. The flavor is really good. I thought it was gonna be spicier than it is, but it's still plenty spicy. Not quite dragon's breath, more like, I don't know, what's like below dragon, like trog breath. Yeah. No, this is actually pretty good. To me, this chili is almost more about texture rather than like pure flavor. Okay, moving down the line, we got Alton Brown's good old pressure cooker chili. Hit that, no toppings anyways, but yeah. The texture on this is really cool, and this one definitely smells the most unique. So corny. What animal did I just eat? Maybe all three, I'm not quite sure. It's so interesting. The corn is what comes through to me, and the lamb too. You can really taste the lamb. The lamb is complemented by the pork and beef. It's a crazy flavor in chili. Also goes really nicely with the dark chipotles, the dark beer. So I kind of see what he's doing here. Tasty. Last but not least, Queen Ina. Look at this. I mean, this is just a pretty little bowl right here. Got a little bit of everything. The diced tomato seems a little redundant to me. I'm gonna try the chili only first. Whoa, oh yeah, basil. Forgot about that. Strange but good. And those big, like mighty brisket chunks. Plenty of heat in that too. Oh. Whatever's going on over here is really working for me right now. The guacamole and the sour cream cool off the chili really well, which is, you know, the chili's on the runnier side. Not sure about that, but flavor's good, unique with the basil. Man, we've tried all of our chilies. I got a general idea of what we're working with for each bowl here. Now it's time for the hardest part of the video. We gotta rank these things. Whew. Hour 8 of chili party. Gotta hit the Cometeer. Okay. The hardest part of the day, we gotta rank these things. I hate this part because each one of these chilies is like very unique and delicious, and I would make pretty much any one of these again, but we'll talk about it. We gotta get nitpicky here. We're gonna go first, second, and third place. The gold, the silver, the bronze. We're starting with the Bronzino, the bronze, third place. Still respectful on this board full of, you know, elite goats. Like these are the Green Beret of stand and stir cooking shows, guys. Okay, in third place, I think I know who it is. Kind of crazy. It's gotta be Alton. Alton. I'm trying to hide my Chicago accent. Chicago. Alton Brown. Okay, let's lock in. Alton Brown has taught me, probably safe to say, more than these two other chefs on the docket here. Now that doesn't really matter today because we're comparing chilies here. Alton's chili is just, it's the most unconventional. 3 different kinds of meats. I've never straight up had lamb in my chili before. Is it delicious? Yes, it's tasty. But to me, it's almost more like Mexican guisado than chili. I guess chili is kind of a guisado, but you get it. You can just tell by this texture here. The meat kind of shreds apart. You got some lumpy bits, which is nice contrast, but you know, with those corn tortillas thickening things, it's almost more of like a super thick stew than it is a chili. That's pretty much it, man. Third place, Alton Brown. Which means we got Guy Fieri and Ina Garten head to head right now. Going for the gold, going for that first place slot. The best Food Network chili for now. In second place, the silver runner-up to the winner. That's what second place is. Okay, anyways. It's gonna have, yeah. It's gonna be Ina or Devon. Ina, Devon, whoever. Here's the thing, this one, I say this so much, it's like a lazy word, but it's different, right? These are big pieces of brisket, which I'm kind of used to seeing big pieces of meat in my chili like this. The liquid of the chili, the body of the chili rather, was straight up pretty much like meat and tomato juice. That broke down, kind of simmered off, and kind of stewed together, and that's really cool. I think this would, hilariously enough, probably taste better in the summer when tomatoes are actually like perfect. Right now it's winter. Tomatoes are like fine, you know, they're hothouse tomatoes, so they're not bad. It's funny because chili's such a winter dish, but this might be better in the summer, especially with that basil. We got to talk about the basil. I'm a big cilantro guy with my chili. Basil, I've never had that before. It actually works really well. Tomato and basil, they like to play. They're boys, they chill. So it makes sense. And of course, these big pieces of brisket are like fun to eat. There's actually a really nice heat level on this, you know? In the video, Ina goes, 2 Jewish girls cooking Texas chili.
There's no chili powder in a Jewish recipe.
You're not gonna find a whole lot of heat in Jewish food, but you will in that, and it's fire. I gave it second because it's just a little too runny for me. The basil, while delicious, doesn't really like scream chili to me. I feel like if you were to add like a cornstarch slurry or something like that to kind of thicken things up and make it a little more viscous, it might eat more like chili. And then we could talk, but for now, I mean, listen, this is delicious. I would be so happy to eat this any day of the week. So second place, Ina Garten and Devon. Which means in first place, your chili champion, your Food Network chili champion, Guy Fieri. Let's go. Guy, my guy. Okay. Guy's chili, man. I just kind of ticked all the boxes. It's spicy. It's loaded with aromatic vegetables, including cherry peppers, which adds to that smokiness. It's viscous, right? That addition of the bean cooking liquid with the beans themselves kind of like help to, again, kind of thicken things up. Give it a lot of body, which I like in my chili. I like a chili that's kind of like a stew soup. Ina's was kind of like a soup. Alton's was kind of like a thick boy stew. This is in the middle, you get it. Also, I'm a huge fan of texture in my food, and this is a masterclass in sort of adding texture to food. Yeah. You got the chunks of chuck roast, then you have the ground beef and the coarse ground Italian sausage. Now, I used coarse ground Italian sausage, he used coarse ground beef, we flip-flopped.
I could eat this off a flip-flop.
You're left with the same thing, the same amount of chunkatization in the chili. Between the aromatics, the spice, the beer, you can just tell when you eat this. This is probably closest to the chili that I make. Of course, it's much, much different, but it's the same energy, right? It kind of like that maximalist, throw everything in there but the kitchen sink idea. But at the same time, everything's in there for a reason, and it doesn't feel like too much. From the beef tallow to the beer. I might just have to heat it again. Congratulations, Guy. Let's hang out. Guy, if you're watching this, which I know you're definitely not, let's kick it and open a couple of cold ones, right? That can be apple juice, can be anything. I want to hang out in your backyard. I would like to be your son for a day. I'm probably around their age. I can cook, I can clean. You probably don't want me cooking. I'll do the dishes. The time is now upon us. We are going to take the best parts of each of these chilies and fuse them together to make the ultimate Food Network Franken-chili. Okay, so no, I did not make a fourth version of chili, but I did add them all together into a single bowl, kind of like you used to do at McDonald's with all the different sodas. One thing that I left out for Guy's chili was the way he serves it with French fries, which is really cool because who doesn't love chili cheese fries? Great move, Guy, amazing work. Guy for president. Now for the toppings, you know we gotta hit it with the chatty, and I can't eat chili without cilantro, so we're gonna put some of that on. And while we're taking creative liberties, the same goes for these corn nuts, which I love. Then a little dollop of daisy, not sponsored. And I can't ignore the grunions, right? Every bowl of chili needs scallions, so we're gonna hit that as well. Just remember, when you make chili, regardless of what the Texans will tell you, there are no laws. Add what you want, garnish how you like. The only real rule is that it must be delicious to you. Just a little limon, never hurt. A little bit of each chili. Woo. This blew my mind for some reason because I never would have thought to put fries in my chili, but I definitely would have thought to put chili on my fries, so yeah, I don't know. I'd muck it on a cold night. Who am I kidding? It's really good. Can't stop. My chili glands are swollen. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know which bowl of chili looked best to you in the comments below. And if you have a favorite Food Network chef and/or a dish you'd like to see me make during the next competition, also let me know in the comments. The best way to support is over on the Patreon, aka the Grocery Fund. Another great way to support is to cop some merch. I got a lot of great designs over on the store for you. I'll leave links below. I think you're gonna like them. Come say what's good in Discord. We're cool and we're chatting. I do giveaways. We talk about life, food, post pictures of our cooking. It's a good time, fun community, so come introduce yourself. And that is all I got for you this time. So until next we meet. How do you work this thing?